Hello everyone and welcome back. It is time for my November reading wrap up. Had quite a good reading month in November and I read 9 books altogether. What I'm going to do, I've got my notes here, is for my SPFBO finalists, I'm just going to mention which books I have read that month because I don't want to give away ratings or anything and they're all going to get their own dedicated videos. So 9 books altogether, 7 non-SPFBO books, and the finalists I read were Scales and Sensibility by Stephanie Burgess and Mysterious Ways by Abby Evans, and one of those I've already put the video up and the other one I haven't even written the review yet, so that will come soon. So I read quite a lot on my Kindle this month and bought a few of them, and I read some shorter books and some actually bit of a mix of things. So the first thing I read was A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. After touring the rural areas of Panga, sibling Dex, a tea monk, and Moscap, a robot who is trying to find out what humanity really needs, turn their attention to the villages and cities of the small moon they call home. They hope to find the answers they seek while making new friends, learning new concepts, and experiencing the entropic nature of the universe. This was a really nice continuation from the first book, which I can't remember what that was called now. What was the first book called? A Psalm for the Wild Bill, that's what it was called. The characters were just given room to breathe and we just got to know them all a little bit better. We learn more about their situation, what's going on with them, and how everyone just interacts and how things that are going on previously have impacted others. We see more about how the world actually works and how people see themselves in this world. It's charming and absorbing. I gave it 4 out of 5. The next book I read was actually originally on my Kindle, on Kindle Unlimited, but I loved it and had to buy a copy. This is Of Ants and Dinosaurs by Cixin Liu, and this is translated to English by Elizabeth Hanlon. In an otherwise ordinary day in the late Cretaceous period, the seeds of Earth's first and greatest civilization are sown in the grisly aftermath of a Tyrannosaurus Rex's lunch. From such humble beginnings, ants and dinosaurs, 2 species which are so unalike yet so complementary, culminate in the antimatter power age of wonder. Yet such industry comes at a price. This was just utterly absurd and I loved every minute of it. It moves pretty rapidly through the time period, so there's no real characters to get to know throughout other than just general ants and how they are different to dinosaurs and what's going on with each of those. But it was just so much fun. I had to buy a physical copy of this. I gave this one 5 out of 5. The next book I also originally read on my Kindle and then bought a physical copy is Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bazterrica, and this is translated to English by Sarah Moses. His wife has left him and his father is sinking deeper into dementia, and Marcus tries not to think too hard about what he does for a living. After all, it happened so fast. One day there was just the mention of a virus that made animal flesh poisonous to humans, then the transition, and eating human flesh, or special meat, is legal. One day he is given a specimen, one of the highest quality, and he soon becomes tortured by what has been lost, and what may yet be saved. This was really something. I read this because A, it was really cheap on Amazon Kindle one day, and B, I have seen it mentioned quite a lot on the corner of BookTube I inhabit. It's incredibly beautifully written and so casually brutal. The world has changed and there is this sense of nostalgia throughout, and yet there are people who have fully embraced how the world is now. Some weirdly toned sex at times. It's a horrifyingly absorbing read with touches of 1984 and Animal Farm. I gave this 4 out of 5 and I will probably reread this at some point. The next book was on my Kindle and I got this from Kindle Unlimited, and this is The Last Gifts of the Universe by Rory August. When humanity finally reached the stars, they discovered a wasteland of dead civilizations. What happened is a mystery, and as far as Home knows, they are the last civilization in the universe, and what happened to the others will eventually happen to them. Scout is an archivist, searching the cosmos for anything that has been left behind by these civilizations. On one such mission, a message is found from an alien, one who has witnessed these attacks firsthand. Now they must follow the clues to find more information in these messages to help protect home. But they are not the only ones searching. This was told in a very conversational style from Scout's perspective, so this was really easy to get into. The world is built up really quickly, and I really enjoyed exploring the universe and meeting the characters within it. I did find the setup for the conflict to be a touch on the simplistic side, but I really enjoyed watching how it played out. There is a nice touch of horror in this one, which I really found quite creepy and I really enjoyed, and I think eventually I'm going to buy a physical copy of this one because I gave it 4 out of 5. The next book was also on my Kindle, and this was Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. As this is the second book in a series, I'm not going to really go too much into this one, but after the events of the first book, Murderbot continues to search for more truth on what has happened in the past. I'm really enjoying this series, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 because it was just that sort of month. Then I finally did it. I read Nona the Ninth. Once again, third book in the series, although even if I did say the synopsis, it does spoil some of the earlier books, but I'm still not sure anyone would really realise what's going on. I'm discovering that this is making less and less sense without a reread, because it was well over 2 years ago that I read Harrow the Ninth, because I read that when it came out and there was a bit of a wait for Nona. I enjoyed it overall, but I'm really not seeing how the first 3 quarters really tied into the last quarter. That was an epic climax and a hell of a lot happened all at once, but I really think I need to reread the entire series before Alecto comes out. I gave it 4 out of 5. It's my least favourite of the series so far, but as I said, I think I need to reread everything. And I think I'm matching the colour scheme for Nona today. Yeah, it was great. I'm just not quite sure really what's going on anymore. And the final book was a reread, and this is Nemesis Games by James S. A. Corey, which is the 5th book in The Expanse. And I just don't think I'm going to be able to cram in 3 more before the end of the year. Although book 9 isn't out until paperback until February, so I could probably finish it before that comes out. So 3 more to go. Might get another one in December, not sure. Again, this is the 5th book in the series, and even the synopsis on the back of this one is deliberately vague for a very, very good reason. All I will say is that the crew of the Rocinante are separated, and we get a lot of their perspectives outside of Holden for the first time. And I think we get the realisation that they have become more of a family than they thought, and perhaps they work better together. This is a high point of the series for me so far, and I gave it 5 out of 5 on a reread once again. So those were all the books I read in November. I would love to know what you read. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you all soon.